Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having us here, as I said earlier. And this is a big surprise for us, for our group especially, because we have been interacting for years, a decade, without having we had a desire to join and to get a higher ground for what we do in academic sense, and to bring it to reality. We've been trying to deliver this the science of the biotic pulp, helping our dear colleagues from Russia to air this to a larger audience. We have had some trouble, and Anastasia can speak more about this, in terms of which is usual in science, that people, anytime a new theory comes along, and there's, of course, in science, there is a challenge, and we've been facing those challenges. However, as I said earlier, we do not have time for the usual, I'll say, decantation or establishment of a new theory. As you know, the way that science progresses is way too low. Or it's low, not low. It's low for the time being. We have an incredible emergency happening right now. I mean, you don't have to trust the climate scientists or the IPCC. You just watch the news. You know, it's coming, and it's surprising us in a way, in such a depth, in terms of the seriousness in which the climate change is accelerating. That even the most, advanced climate scientists, and maybe Paulo will be able to, he's a climate scientist, to talk about this a little bit more, is scared and surprised. Things are happening way faster than anticipated by even the most, most recent climate models are projections. And the simple reason is because science doesn't know everything, you know. And we realize and start learning that the situation is the result of a complex system. Earth is a complex system. We understand a little bit of it. We made models based on that understanding, and we realized very quickly that it's much, much more complex than we anticipated, and the models could represent. So here, now we are, well, earlier, 30 years ago, we had the models and the projections, and they basically said, situation is grave, serious. We had the misfortune of being derailed from taking action as we should have. 1990, we knew it already. Since 79 was the first big alarm. 1990 was already quite late. And what happened, you all know, I don't have to go over again, but we were being derailed by vested interests in the dirty industry, and eventually we lost the time window. And now we are basically, what we are seeing is becoming sort of beyond the point of no return. We are crossing that line. Maybe we have crossed it already. And what you will learn from Anastasia, I hope she can speak better about this, is that carbon is not the whole story. Carbon is just one component, an important component, a component of our earlier career, carbocentric. We were concerned, but it has become, we are talking in the elevator, it has become a dogma, and it's totally dominating the establishment in the IPCC and the Climate Convention. And we realize, and we've been seeing this since a long time, that the biotic part, the living planet, is sort of not given the attention it should have gotten long ago. And now we're very near to losing it because the system might have gone already in a state of self disassembly, talking contrary to what you plan and aim. Disassembly means the system start going awry, and so this is the message. Maybe just to start, I would like to leave is that we have an incredible challenge in our hands. An incredible challenge. This is not just a matter of solving the problem of drought in some places and fix whatever we have done wrong. We have to go beyond that, because fixing is what we have been taught that we can do. Technology can fix anything and everything. And in the wake of this belief system, we have the geoengineering starting. And if you follow the geoengineering groups, people thinking very concerned about we ought to fix the planet, to fix the Earth system, and it's really scary, because without understanding the complexity of the Earth system, you have engineers with goodwill and very motivated, but they are basically saying, oh, we release some dust in the stratosphere, we put mirrors in space to reflect sunshine, we can, whatever, make machines to extract CO2 from the atmosphere, like in Switzerland. You probably heard about this news, and they are going down to $120 a ton of carbon. And they're discussing that if we go down to $70 or something, it will compete with other ways that we could use. But all of those discussions, they suffer from a basic disease, which is autism. Autism is what have brought us here. Each one of us are specialized. When you introduced us, you said we are specialists, right? That's what, oh, here is a specialist. What is your specialty? And in the Earth system, you cannot be a specialist. You cannot be a specialist, otherwise you miss the whole picture. And Hynek has shown it initially. I had never seen this word holonic, but it captures the notion. We ought to see the system as a whole. You know, the forest is not a tree. A tree is an important component of the forest, but the forest is not the tree. We have to see the whole. And not being a specialist, for not being a specialist, you pay a price in an academic career. You ought to dominate your specialty, and that's what engineers do. For example, in our country, in Brazil, you get engineers developing incredible expertise and skill to do dams on rivers. And that's what they know how to do. And they will do dams, and they start damming. They have now, I think, 300 new dams planned for the Amazon. And what you do with the dam if you don't have rain, right? Rainfall is going down. So you don't have rain, you don't have water, you don't have runoff, you don't have rivers, you don't have energy in your dam. So it's totally stupid. But people, they do this in their best, whatever they do in their best capacity. It's not that they're not doing something out of stupidity. They were taught to do this way, to be a specialist. And we cannot afford to be a specialist any longer. We have no time. We are almost losing the planet. You know, the habitability of planet is much beyond whatever any government or any group of experts can handle. So that's what I wanted to say to begin. Just that we are confronted. The Smart Biotic Pump is an incredible initiative. We are learning about it more and more as we arrive here, which is, especially, I mean, from a personal point of view, it's an incredible initiative, and I compliment you for taking the lead in doing this. And we are certainly very happy to be part of it, and we will discuss more. But we have this conscience that it's much beyond the biotic pump and specific projects. We are dealing with something, the solutions that this group can produce and can air and can disseminate are solutions that are important for the whole planet and for the whole of humanity. This is not grandiose talk in the sense that but it's that I have grown convinced from following the work of Anastasia and Victor that they have got the explanation of the core. You know, Earth has been stable because of the life it bears. And we are destroying life everywhere. And so this is the key point for us to start our conversations here. I hope you agree. Of course you do, because otherwise you wouldn't be starting this initiative. But this has to be our main sort of unifying principle that even if we stop emitting CO2, methane, nitrous oxide tomorrow, and we lose the forest, and we lose the coral reefs, and we lose the ecosystem, we're done. Okay, I've learned this with my dear Russian colleagues, and I think Anastasia will bring us her gift in terms of explanations, and that you will see how it is in our hands. We can do it, but we have to really be swift in doing it. Otherwise, it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.